Well, moving on, it looks like Jay-Z might have some explaining to do, y'all. Check this out. So apparently a 28-year-old Maryland woman by the name of Letitia Macer is claiming to be Hov's, check this out, y'all, long-lost daughter.
With Jay-Z's alleged secret daughter, okay, her story popped up 2 weeks ago via an Instagram that she has started, okay, under Jay-Z's secret daughter or something like that, don't get me to lie. Her and I have been in communication, okay, because I've had some questions. I wanted to get some clear answers, but unfortunately, unless you pay her, she's not giving any clear or concise answers. Now, hold that thought real quick. Now, just in case you don't know who she is, her name is Letitia Macer. I believe she's from Baltimore or something like that, and she has told a rather interesting story about Jay-Z and her mother allegedly dating back in the day, okay? Now, do I believe that Letitia is Jay-Z's first alleged daughter? I do, okay? And the reason being, I had to ask myself this question: what rapper do you know that does not have children everywhere, okay? In this state, that country, anywhere. What rapper? Name one. I'll wait. I'll take a sip on that wait. And so if y'all or even me think that Blue Ivy is somehow Jay-Z's first daughter after all that sticking and moving he has done before he met Beyonce, and even while he was with Beyonce, okay, married and not married, hell to the damn no. I believe there was some women that was willing to take the money to have a few abortions, okay? And there were some that were not. And there were some that got pregnant that never saw him anymore, okay? And that is Letitia.
When people talk about Jay-Z, they talk about the empire. The Brooklyn kid who went from hustling on street corners to becoming a billionaire mogul. They talk about the music, the business deals, the art collections, and of course, his marriage to Beyoncé, one half of the most powerful couple in entertainment. To the outside world, Sean Carter has always looked untouchable, a man who turned his past into legend and his future into history books. But behind every carefully curated image, there are shadows. And in those shadows live stories that won't stay hidden forever. For years, whispers have followed Jay-Z. Rumors of children outside his marriage, allegations of paternity he never publicly acknowledged, names and faces that never made it into the Carter family album. Most of those whispers faded away, drowned out by hit records and stadium tours.
Cambridge, Maryland. My mom, her name is Lisa Macer. She has multiple sclerosis. I've been hearing that Jay-Z was my father all my life. There's no way that he can deny anything. I was going to leave it alone. They brought me one of those ancestry tests. Finally, I get some type of answers. He knows that I exist.
2025, a woman stepped forward with a claim so bold and so detailed that it sent shockwaves through the internet. Her name is Letitia, and she isn't just hinting or suggesting. She's saying with absolute certainty, I am Jay-Z's daughter. Letitia isn't famous. She doesn't come from the glitz of Hollywood. She's a woman from Cambridge, Maryland, a quiet town where, according to her, this so-called secret was never really a secret at all. She says she grew up with people whispering about it behind her back, neighbors acknowledging it in hushed tones, and classmates treating it like common knowledge. Everyone, she says, already knew who her father was. Everyone except the man himself, who never showed up. For 28 years, Letitia lived with that silence. Until one day, she decided she'd had enough. On Instagram, she posted a message that was raw, emotional, and direct. I've been quiet for far too long. Join me as I tell you my story of living in the shadows of being Jay-Z's daughter in a city where everyone knew he was my father. It was the kind of post that doesn't just trend, it explodes. Blogs picked it up. TikTok creators dissected it frame by frame. Twitter, or what's now called X, turned it into a trending topic. The world wanted to know, who is Letitia? And is she really Jay-Z's daughter? But her post wasn't just about claims, it was about her life, about what it means to grow up carrying a truth you're not allowed to say out loud. Letitia spoke about her mother, a woman who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. At first, her mom was active, vibrant,
on so much and running, and
Slowly,
it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she consumed me. And anyone who'd have been older than
till she was bedridden and needed 24-hour care. That left young Letitia to step up, not just as a daughter, but almost as a parent herself. She became the caretaker, the provider, the one responsible for holding everything together while also raising 4 kids, including twins, juggling school, and working 2 jobs at the same time. One of those jobs was at a prison, the other was at a hospital. It's the kind of pressure that breaks most people. But Letitia says she endured it. Still, she couldn't escape the weight of her reality. While she was grinding through double shifts, her alleged father was making millions, building brands, and sitting courtside at NBA games. The irony was crushing. The silence, even more so. So why did she wait nearly 3 decades to speak? According to her, it wasn't for lack of trying. She claims her mother reached out in the past, attempting to contact Jay-Z directly. She even tried to pursue child support, but says the legal system didn't work the same when the father in question was a global superstar with unlimited resources. Lawyers brushed her off. Executives dismissed her. One man at Rockefeller Records allegedly told her mother, "Do you know how many women call me every day saying Jay-Z is their baby daddy?" That's when Letitia realized the game was rigged. Money, power, and influence created a wall she couldn't climb. So she stayed silent. Until now. What gave her the courage to finally break that silence was a DNA test, an ancestry test, to be exact. She says it came back showing a 99% match, a result she believes points directly to Jay-Z. To her, it wasn't just a piece of paper, it was proof. Proof of everything she'd carried inside for nearly 3 decades. Of course, critics were quick to point out that ancestry tests don't print out celebrity names. They don't say, "Congratulations, Jay-Z is your dad." But Letitia insisted she knew exactly what the results meant. And for her, that was enough. What made things even more compelling were the voices from her hometown. People began speaking up, supporting her story. One woman wrote online, "If you're not from the shore, you won't understand." But we all knew that was her father. Another claimed she was the one who introduced Letitia's mom to Jay-Z back in the day, describing late-night hangouts in apartments filled with smoke, music, and games of cards. She said Jay wasn't just a passing face. He spent real time with Letitia's mother, enough that it was more than just a fling. She even recalled attempts to call Rockefeller years ago, only to be dismissed without so much as a callback. Wasn't just Letitia's word anymore. It was a community saying, "We always knew." And here's where the story takes a twist, because Letitia's claim isn't happening in a vacuum. Another name has been circling Jay-Z for years, Rymir Satterthwaite. For more than 15 years, Rymir has been fighting his own battle, insisting Jay-Z is his father. He's taken it to court, demanded a DNA test, and faced endless legal delays. At one point, a judge even ordered Jay-Z to submit a sample. But Jay's legal team pushed back, arguing the lawsuit wasn't filed properly. More delays, more silence, more frustration. Rymir and his guardian, Dr. Lilly, have gone on record saying they've faced intimidation. They've accused lawyers of sabotaging their case, even claiming some of the attorneys who were supposed to help them were secretly working with Jay-Z's side to make sure it got thrown out. For Rymir, this fight isn't about money. He's said it time and time again. "I don't want anything from Jay-Z. I just want him to tell the truth." And that's what makes these two stories, Letitia's and Rymir's, so eerily similar. Both claim decades of silence. Both claim legal stonewalls. Both claim Jay-Z has gone out of his way to avoid a simple DNA test. If Jay-Z truly isn't their father, the solution is obvious. Take the test, prove it, and move on. But that hasn't happened. Instead, there are whispers of intimidation, legal loopholes, and even, according to Letitia's side, offers of hush money. That's right. Sources close to her claim she was offered a luxury home worth nearly $1.7 million. But the catch? She had to sign a strict non-disclosure agreement. It wasn't presented as generosity. It was presented as a deal. Take the house. Sign the papers. Stay quiet. To Letitia, that was proof of something darker. If Jay-Z really believed she was lying, why not just call her bluff? Why not take the DNA test and shut it all down? Instead, the alleged response was silence, lawyers, and NDAs. And then there's Beyoncé. For years, she's built her own legacy, carefully protecting her image while raising 3 children and running businesses of her own. But according to insiders, she's tired. Tired of the whispers.
This is Oskino. At one time, Oskino was signed to Rockefeller Records, and he was very close to Jay-Z, Damon Dash, and everyone that was signed to Rockefeller at that time. Well, Oskino has sat down and did an interview, and he is alleging that Jay-Z does in fact have multiple other children outside of the children that he has with Beyonce, and he knows this for a fact.
You talk to him personally? That's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. First of all, Jay-Z offered the money. At first, he offered them bread, and everything, but his aunt didn't approve of it. She said, no, Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. The lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. But Young Boy's so thorough though, he just want a dad. He not trying to get no money, he not trying to do none of that. But something happened to him and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird.
Tired of the scandals, tired of cleaning up messes that weren't hers to begin with. Some sources say Beyoncé has reached her breaking point, that she gave Jay-Z a choice. Handle your past or I'm gone. It's not just about personal betrayal anymore, it's about brand damage. Together, Jay and Beyoncé built an empire, a flawless image of power and partnership. They've sold themselves as the ultimate couple, the Carter dynasty. But scandals like this poke holes in that image, and the cracks are starting to show. Letitia's claim has reignited the conversation about Jay-Z's past, his choices, and the possibility of children he never acknowledged. Rymir's case is still alive in court, and fans are starting to question the empire they once admired. For Jay-Z, the question is simple. Why not take the test? Why risk your marriage, your reputation, your empire, when a simple swab could end it all? Unless, of course, ending it all isn't as simple as it seems. Because if Letitia is telling the truth, if Rymir is telling the truth, and if the whispers that have followed Jay-Z for decades are real, then we're not just talking about one mistake. We're talking about a pattern, a history, a man who built an empire while leaving shadows behind. And for Beyoncé, the choice may already be made. Reports say she's been fed up for a long time, and Letitia's claim might be the final straw. A marriage that once looked unbreakable may now be on the edge of collapse. This isn't just gossip. It isn't just internet chatter. It's a story about power, truth, and the cost of silence. Because if Letitia was nearly silenced with $1 million house and an NDA, how many other stories never saw the light of day? How many voices stayed buried because they didn't have the courage or the platform to speak? For nearly 3 decades, Letitia carried a truth that ate away at her. Now she's telling her story to the world. Rymir is still fighting his battle in court. And the Carter empire, once untouchable, is suddenly showing cracks. The world is watching, the fans are demanding answers, and Jay-Z is running out of time. Because in the end, this story isn't just about a man. It's about legacy, about truth. About how far someone will go to protect their empire, and the biggest question of all, if Jay-Z has been hiding children for decades, what else has he been hiding? Because if Letitia was nearly silenced with $1 million house and an NDA, how many other stories never saw the light of day? How many voices stayed buried because they didn't have the courage or the platform to speak? For nearly 3 decades, Letitia carried a truth that ate away at her. Now she's telling her story to the world. Rymir is still fighting his battle in court. And the Carter empire, once untouchable, is suddenly showing cracks. The world is watching, the fans are demanding answers, and Jay-Z is running out of time. Because in the end, this story isn't just about a man. It's about legacy, about truth. About how far someone will go to protect their empire, and the biggest question of all, if Jay-Z has been hiding children for decades, what else has he been hiding?